I'm officially at a point where I have to just say it. Chelsea Football Club is finished. Not struggling, not rebuilding, completely finished. We just lost 1-0 to Newcastle at Stamford Bridge, a team that hasn't won here in like 14 years. And somehow we look like the smaller club. There was no urgency, no ideas, no fight. And the worst part is, I genuinely think that this team is getting worse week after week. So today, we need to talk about Liam Rosenior, the players, and the people running this club. Because right now, Chelsea are heading in a very, very dangerous direction. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Fouad back with another video. And this is a channel where we talk about Chelsea honestly from a fan's perspective, right? We talk about the good, we talk about the bad. And right now, unfortunately, there is a lot of bad to talk about. So if you're here and you love Chelsea, or at least you're suffering through this madness like the rest of us, make sure you subscribe and follow for more content. But now let's talk about this performance, because Chelsea just lost 1-0 to Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. And honestly, this game perfectly just summed up everything that is wrong with this club right now. So I want to start with what I like to call the false hope, right? Which is like the first 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of every single game we're starting to see in the past couple of games, right? It's the most frustrating thing about this club right now and about our matches, because we always seem to look decent right out of the gate, right? We have possession. We're pushing, like we were pushing Newcastle back again. The ball movement was decent. Fofana had a chance with a header. Palmer had a chance. Garnacho had a shot that was saved. And, when you see all of that, you're thinking, all right, maybe, just maybe that PSG disaster is behind us and it was just a bad night, right? But this team has developed this pattern this season. They seem to always start games off okay, but by the moment something goes wrong, the entire mentality is broken and we just collapse. Let's face it, that goal that we conceded against Newcastle was another defensive disaster, right? 18th minute of the game, one pass from Tino Livramento completely splits open our press. Joe Willock runs through the center, squares the ball. Anthony Gordon taps it into an empty net. 1-0 Newcastle. So when you think about that defending, completely unacceptable, embarrassing. Fofana was literally jogging back, not even covering Anthony Gordon. Reece James was caught completely out of position. Our defensive structure was non-existent and wide open. Newcastle literally cut through us like a hot knife through butter. And the frustrating thing is that we've been conceding goals like this all season. One quick transition, one vertical pass, and our entire team is exposed. And the rest of the game literally just was possession with no threat, right? After the goal, Newcastle did exactly what you'd expect them to do, right? They dropped back into a low block, compact, disciplined, hard to break down. And Chelsea, we had nearly 2/3 of the possession, but what did we actually do with it? Absolutely nothing. Slow passing, sideways recycling, no movement, no creativity, no cutting edge. We were just a team that had possession but had no idea what to do with it. And that's what's been happening week after week at this club. When we look at the second half, it was pretty much the same story. Rosenior tried to change things by bringing on Liam Delap to add, some presence in the box. And for a brief moment, it looked like it might work because Liam Delap had an early chance. Chelsea started to push a bit more. But overall, the pattern of the match never changed. Chelsea had the ball, Newcastle sat back, and that was it, right? We kept circling possession without really creating anything. And then, it just felt predictable at the point. We were slow, and honestly, it was just so frustrating to watch. Then came a moment which basically sums up Chelsea's entire season, right? 76th minute, Reece James delivers a nice cross. Liam Delap, 2 yards out from goal. Open goal, essentially. And he smashes it over the bar. You can literally feel Stamford Bridge just like deflate at that moment. And that was our chance, right? That was the moment. And we didn't take it, all right? And right now, this team has zero confidence, zero composure when it comes to big moments in matches. We also had a moment in the game where Cole Palmer went down in the box, appealed for a penalty, and maybe on another day it gets given. But if we're being honest, even if we got that decision, would we have deserved anything from this game? Probably not. Because let's be real, Newcastle came with a plan. And we just looked like a team that was still kind of searching for a plan, and we didn't know what we were doing. So honestly, like, it is what it is. Then late in the game, there's a little bit of potential drama. Reece James nearly saved us. He had a free kick. Last minute of the game, it curls around the wall, smashes off the post. And for like a split second, you think maybe we can get away with it and steal one back for the equalizer. But it wasn't meant to be, right? Like 8 minutes of stoppage time after that, cross after cross into the box, desperation football at its best. And then obviously the final whistle goes and it finishes 1-0 to Newcastle. Stamford Bridge, deservedly so, responds with boos for the players and the team. And that's just the story of our club this season, man. Super frustrating to watch, but this keeps happening week over week. Now, I hate doing this, but I have to talk about this because it's important that we talk about Liam Rosenior at Chelsea Football Club right now. Because I've tried to be patient, but tonight changed something in me, right? Chelsea Football Club is not a place where you learn on the job, right? This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Right now, Liam Rosenior looks completely naive at this level. The tactical decisions that he's making, the positioning, the in-game adjustments, everything just feels like an experiment instead of leadership. And it's a dangerous place to be right now for Chelsea Football Club because leadership at the top is what we need. And if you're going to have a young, inexperienced team that's going to learn, that's going to make mistakes, you need someone leading that team with experience, some sort of consistency, and some sort of stability. And right now it seems like Liam is not that guy. But let me be clear, he is not the scapegoat. The real problem in this club has always been and always will be Clearlake and Bluecoat, the board and these sporting directors. Because Liam Rosenior did not hire himself. And these players did not choose to be put in these positions at such a young age. These sporting directors and this board are the problem. These are the people that are running Chelsea and are setting us back years. Bad decisions, constant experiments, no football identity, no stability. And the result is what we're watching right now. A team that looks completely clueless and directionless. So for my final thoughts, we're currently sitting 5th in the Premier League table. But with performances like this, and I'm going to be honest, we're nowhere near pushing for any type of trophies. This is a team that is barely hanging on to a top 4, top 5 finish. We were humiliated by PSG midweek, and now we just lost to Newcastle at home. And the scary thing is, I do not see progress. I see regression, game after game. But that's all I got, guys. So, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Join the family because no matter how frustrating this club gets, we're still going to keep talking about it because we love Chelsea. Up the Chelsea, and until next time, peace.